This is one of the reasons that after 80s, Kashmir has not been able to produce artists of national level. The music competitions that are held on prime Indian television stations hardly ever have any representation from Kashmir. This is not due to the lack of talent, but due to the lack of training, confidence, support, and fear of backlash from the conservative elements of the society. It is imperative for artists to have an environment that is conducive for free expression, to be able to produce work that is appreciated without bias and in alliance to any religion, caste, or political allegiance. It is also important for performing arts to have the right kind of appreciation, forums, platforms, and competitiveness to grow in quality and quantity. The Kashmiri artists who survived in the valley during the 90s at the height of insurgency were cocooned in their own surroundings and were not able to effectively showcase their art outside the valley, or to face the critique of the artists and audiences in other parts of India. As a result of this, the quality of performing arts in Kashmir suffered tremendously. And whatever work was produced in the last 2 decades lacks the depth and innovativeness. Also, due to the migration of Kashmiri Pandits, who were predominantly the teachers and composers in the field of performing arts, music, and dance, caused a vacuum for those who were eager to learn and develop their talent. At the height of militancy, the talent that was left in the valley was limited in scope and only produced work that was in alignment with the militant ideology to be able to live and earn a decent living to take care of their day-to-day needs. Radio and television were the only medium where performing arts like music and drama survived in limited capacity, and some of the artists who stayed behind carried on with the leftovers of what was produced in the 80s. Even the folk artists like chakri singers or band performers could not find any occasion to perform or showcase their talent other than in marriages. As the militancy slowly subsided out of the valley in the last 5 to 6 years, some of the new work in the field of music has found its way in our homes via internet sites like YouTube. These music videos portray a strong influence of Bollywood style of music videos, where male and female singers sing stylized Kashmiri songs, love songs, in the backdrop of beautiful Kashmir landscape. This new genre of modern Kashmiri music is in sync with technological advancement that is prevalent in the field of music everywhere, but it fails to capture the Kashmiri flavor and the depth of its ethnicity and originality. To give an analogy, the experiment seems like cooking a Kashmiri dish with non-Kashmiri spices. Having been an artist who went through strict classical music training for years under the tutelage of prominent Gwalior Gharana musician Sri T.K. Jalali, I learned the nuances of music that helped me carry my art and bring innovativeness while keep the flavor of Kashmiri music alive. On my various visits during the last 2 decades, I have talked to my fellow artists who have left the valley or some who are still in the valley, and come to understand that in spite of having extremely good talent, they are not able to sustain and carry it forward due to lack of training, resources, and competition on national level, and extreme commercialization. These young artists who are producing music videos and albums for quick sale have the talent, but are not sufficiently trained to sustain and compete. They are not able to compete with the talent that is in other parts of the Indian states. They are well versed in their art, but they are still, again, lacking the power to sustain it. In the field of drama, some of the work that I watched on the television was mediocre and low compared to the outstanding quality of radio dramas that were produced in the 70s and the 80s. As Kashmiris living in different parts of the world, we crave for good Kashmiri music but are not satisfied with the work that is being produced due to the lack of depth, originality of Kashmiri flavor in it. Artists and their work thrive best in an atmosphere of social and political encouragement and freedom to express and experiment. The performing arts especially need platforms and resources for display and interaction to evolve and grow. Fear, suppression, and anxiety are emotions that kill creativity. And it hinders the artist from producing good quality of work. In Kashmir, the performing arts that were at the highest in early times and survived tough political upheavals saw an golden era during the 70s and 80s with outstanding work produced in music, dance, and drama, met with a severe blow during the recent insurgency. Fear of militant attacks, political turmoil, and mass migration of Kashmiri Pandits left a void in the thriving artistic scene in the valley. As Kashmir struggles to come to normalcy, the common man still craves for a very peaceful time where there is no threat of extreme ideology or presence of security forces, where the common man can sit in the shade of a chinar and listen to the soft tones of Sufyana Kalam or enjoy the rhythmic tones of the chakri. In the last several years, there have been renewed efforts to revive the folk theatre by Sangeet Natak Academy and bring the artists forward to save the art form and get recognition. Modern plays based on social topics like corruption and political issues that gripped the valley for more than 2 decades are being written and staged by fresh young artists in new wave of Kashmir theatre. In the recent years, we have seen some promising signs of the young talent from the valley who have entered the competitive arena of Bollywood to try to make a break. One such voice is that of Saim Bhatt, a highly talented singer who struggled for years but kept his dream alive and has had to become a rebel to be able to get recognition and work. He has set an example for more such talents who are ready to rebel, struggle, and pursue their talent and compete with other talents in India. The sad part is that these young talents are forced to leave the valley for lack of training, support, work, and recognition. In my recent 1-week trip to my homeland last November, I paid a visit to Radio Kashmir just before leaving for the airport. It was with a feeling of shock and immense pain that I saw the place after 22 years that used to be like a second home to me. The heavy security presence, the multiple checkpoints, and the strange, unfamiliar looks on the faces sent a shiver down my spine. 22 years back, it was not like this. It was a place where I felt safe, experimenting with my creativity, producing work that was outstanding while interacting with people who were honest, genuine, and dedicated.